Hello, this is your evil twin, welcoming you back to Let's Play Quantum Break.
Jack?
Yeah.
I did some digging. This Chronon operation is harvesting some kind of fuel. It's used to power a device called the CFR. Ever heard of it?
CFR? No, what is it?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it's at the center of everything Monarch's doing. The thing they stole from the university, this operation, everything's linked to the CFR somehow.
What the hell is Paul up to?
Here's a fun little fact. If you restart this part of the game, then Jack starts off holding a pistol.
Jack?
Yeah.
Which means that he answers the call in his earpiece by putting a gun to his head.
Jack?
Now, a few of you might be thinking, if Jack had to push aside these shelves, how could the Monarch troopers have come through here to attack Jack at the end of the last part? They came out of the same door that Jack just entered. Well, it turns out they didn't have to get past the shelves because there's another door here. Unfortunately, Jack can't use it because it is protected by a Monarch Solutions magnetic lock system. In fact, there's a crate here full of these magnetic locks, and a toolbox, which shows how Monarch have been upgrading these old buildings with their own modern security measures. Also, on the corner of the crate, you can see the reflection of the magnetic lock's red glow. That nicely shows off Quantum Break's lighting system. Everything is reflective to some degree. Here's yet another door that Jack can't get through, but if we use time vision, we can see that there's a Chronon source somewhere on the other side, as well as a new type of destructible object, a Chronon container. You have to use time-stop bullet stacking to penetrate them, but when they blow up, it messes with the flow of time and causes a stutter for a few seconds. Also, something that the game doesn't make obvious is that the blast will kill nearby enemies. It does as much damage as Jack's time blast power, so they are like ultra-powerful explosive barrels. There's a lot of old signage here for flammable gas and radioactive, left over from when this used to be a factory. And there's loads of graffiti. Each one is in a different style, a unique tag. Over the years, a bunch of different graffiti artists have left their mark. This place must have been abandoned for a long time. In fact, the ceiling is falling in.
Chronon levels will lower to a point that renders ground zero obsolete in the near future. I'm queuing up the presentation to make sure everybody remembers the essentials before we proceed. Hello, I'm Dr. Sofia Amaral. Over the past 6 years, Monarch has made vast technological advances
Monarch's
in
resident
the area
Chronon
of
scientist.
Joyce particles, better known
She must know a
as
lot of the same
Chronon
stuff Will did.
particles. On July 4th, 2010, unique temporal anomalies began.
Now, if you'll just excuse me for a moment, I'm going to turn off the subtitles for this scene. It'll be rather hard for you to listen to what I'm saying if you're paying attention to Dr. Sophia Amaral. Don't worry though, because once I've fought the enemies in this area, I'll turn the subtitles back on, and we'll get the chance to properly watch Dr. Amaral's Ground Zero presentation.
To occur in a very small and focused area.
Now, there's a new weapon here, the Burst Fire Pistol. If you've watched my Let's Play of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, you might recognise it as the handgun used by Rex Power Colt, which of course is based on Robocop's pistol, the Auto 9. Robocop's Auto 9 was really a Beretta 93R, given a futuristic look with a bunch of sci-fi add-ons. I guess that Monarch Solutions will eventually become omni-consumer products.
Is the only device that can ensure stabilization and regulation.
You can see there's a load of Monarch security down below, clustered around a screen. Dr. Amaral's presentation isn't just playing up here, it's on down there as well, for their benefit. Although the troopers are listening to the presentation, they are still alert and looking around the place.
There he is! Stay back from that!
Haha! Yes! Look at them all go flying.
Harvesting.
And the Chronon container actually unexploded and came back together.
We report to
One of the side effects of blowing up a barrel of time energy and causing a stutter. Sometimes the barrel doesn't stay blown up. Causality isn't very well behaved during a stutter. It seems random. Sometimes it will keep happening and you can blow up the same container over and over again.
October 8th.
But other times, one explosion is enough to destroy it.
From this point forward, Chronon levels in ground zero will slowly decrease.
Right, I'm out of advanced SMG bullets, but there's an assault rifle here.
All harvesting necessary for sustained use of the
Assaulting!
Assaulting? Have an assault rifle! Ah, there's another shotgunner! They flanked me.
Please replace me. Thank you, please.
Oh crap, the heavy shotgunner! Damn, I should have used time stop on the heavy. I was out of shield, but I still had another use of time stop. I panicked and tried to time dodge away.
Anomalies began.
Right, let's try that a little differently this time. Rather than going for the Chronon container, let's make use of the explosive canister.
Located
got
within
it!
the river port industrial zones. This
Then finish off the others with a time blast.
resulted
Yeah.
which led to the Chronon
I love how time blast makes the bodies glitch like that. Now pay attention to the troops on the upper level. Did you see that guy just jump down? That's where the reinforcements come from, once you've killed off the first few enemies. Haha! The burst fire pistol fires bullets that are as weak as the standard SMG, and it's limited to 3-round bursts rather than full auto, though at least it's a bit more accurate. Unfortunately, it also has a lot of kick. You have to readjust your aim after each burst. But it is great for close range headshots, so you can headshot someone 2 or 3 times with one pull of the trigger.
To the ground zero perimeter when entering
There's a guy right behind that Chronon container. He'll be killed when it blows up.
against Chronon.
Funnily enough, one blast from the shotgun is enough to cause bullet stacking and detonate a Chronon container. Doesn't really make sense, because normally all the shotgun pellets would hit at the same time anyway. So I'm not sure how getting frozen in time is supposed to amplify the damage of one shotgun blast.
Ships will not run. Many who have entered ground zero have never returned.
Nice! Got the daylight saving time achievement. That's for time stopping 5 minutes worth of accumulated time. Except on Steam, they wrote the description wrong. It says 1 hour's worth.
Still time anomalies exist. For this reason,
Let's see if this Chronon blast is enough to finish off the heavy trooper.
its course.
Yes, that Chronon explosion did the job. And the container came back together again.
Thank you.
Right, let's swap for the assault rifle, as we're out of advanced SMG bullets. Right, these last 2 SWAT troopers that guard the exit, they really love to throw grenades. Case in point. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine and finish this with a time blast. Uh-oh.
On the way out of here.
Phew. Now I'll just turn subtitles back on again and can properly watch that presentation.
The fracture is escalating more rapidly than Mr. Serene had anticipated. Chronon levels will lower to a point that renders ground zero obsolete in the near future. I'm queuing up the presentation to make sure everybody remembers the essentials before we proceed. Hello, I'm Dr. Sofia Amaral. Over the past 6 years, Monarch has made vast technological advances in the area of Meyer-Joyce particles, better known as Chronon particles. On July 4th, 2010, unique temporal anomalies began to occur in a very small and focused area we now refer to as Ground Zero, located within the Riverport Industrial Zone. This resulted in extremely dense emissions of Chronon particles, creating the perfect conditions for extraction, which led to the Chronon harvesting operation you see today. All of Monarch's Chronon technology relies on these particles, most notably the Chronon Field Regulator, or CFR, which is the only device that can ensure stabilization and regulation of mass quantities of these particles. When the time is right, the entire supply of Chronon containers will be transported from this location to the Monarch headquarters, where the CFR is located. Only authorized personnel are to handle the containers directly. unique temporal anomalies become more frequent with closer proximity to the ground zero perimeter when entering the yellow zone. This yellow zone emits dense chronon pockets ripe for harvesting. The ground zero perimeter itself is never to be entered under any conditions. We refer to this area as the red zone, where time no longer flows in a consistent manner and shifts without warning. Many who have entered ground zero have never returned. We know that the fracture will occur on October 8, 2016. We hypothesize that from this point forward, chronon levels in ground zero will slowly deplete until time anomalies cease to occur. For this reason, all harvesting necessary for sustained use of the CFR must be complete before the fracture runs its course. For more information, please refer to your employee manual. Thank you for your time.
That counts as the first narrative object for this part of the game. We already collected it earlier when we first entered the room. Jack made a comment about her knowing a lot of the same stuff as well. Now here we can find a couple of replacement advanced SMGs next to the screen that the troopers are watching Amaral's presentation on. And here is the Chronon harvesting machine. Reminds me a bit of a lunar lander.
Chronon harvesting process cancelled. Insufficient chronon particles detected. Please move harvester to designated yellow zone anomalous area.
I like the detail of the chalk markings on the floor, setting out exactly where the machine needs to be placed.
No clear exit down here. May have to head upward.
This laptop has the second narrative object. It's an email from Dr. Sophia Amaral to Monarch's Chronon research personnel about how Monarch will be moving from Phase 2 to Phase 3 after the university operation, and setting out the high-level milestone deliverables that need to be completed by then. Now, above Jack, there are some metal sheets hanging from a crane. Unfortunately, there wasn't an opportunity to drop it on any enemies, but it is the key to getting out of here. Time vision reveals that there is a time trigger for reversing time here, and it also reveals a Chronon source underneath those stairs.
Oh, not your average elevator.
In my Let's Play of Time Shift, I did tricks like that a few times. Time Shift never actually required you to do it to progress, but realising that reversing time turns falling objects into elevators lets you get to high vantage points, or even skip some parts of a level.
Boom.
It was one of my favourite mechanics in Time Shift, and it was completely optional and never even explained to the player.
Jack, I found documents here about some kind of private gala Marnek is hosting tonight.
Tonight. After everything that's happened?
It has something to do with their future plans. Serene's delivering a speech, and the guest list has everybody from Monarch higher-ups to big-shot scientists to the mayor of Riverport, which raises the question, why now?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
Now, if we drop down here, we are in a room right next to where we started, and we can now grab that Chronon source that we detected behind a door we couldn't open. By the way, when we got that radio call from Amy a minute ago, that was the first checkpoint for this part of the game. There isn't one when you defeat the enemies.
There we go.
And if you reach that checkpoint and then quit the game, but you didn't get the first Chronon source under the stairs, when you reload your saved game, it bugs out and doesn't let you collect that Chronon source. I was not amused when I discovered that. Now, you might think that you need to somehow jump across here, but nope, you just need to drop down. But yeah, important lesson. Before quitting the game, check your time vision and collect any Chronon sources in the area. Time vision shows that there's another Chronon source nearby, but it's not down the stairs. In fact, it isn't even inside this building.
Okay. Getting closer, I think. Now, which way's the dry dock?
There's yet another Chronon source here, and it's not the one we detected just a moment ago. Interestingly, it's actually right on top of this piece of Monarch equipment. Using time vision to find that Chronon source has also revealed a time echo.
I got that briefcase we lifted from William Joyce's car. Laid out the contents in the trailer. You want me to go through?
No. Serene wants the first look. Till then, hands off.
If we walk over to this car, someone has stuck a note to the bonnet
Okay.
saying that the trailer generator has crapped itself, so for the time being they've hooked it up to the car. So let's start the car.
Hello,
Okay,
Riverport.
looks like the trailer has
This is
power
Teresa
now.
Sedmak, filling in for Bobby Radford. Bobby's taking a little break for health reasons. I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing him a speedy recovery. Just take all the time you need, Bobby. We've got your back. Now, not to get too serious on you right out of the gate, but here's the latest on the awful tragedy down at Riverport University. The authorities are now looking for Jack Joyce, believed to be the mastermind behind the terrorist action at the university and personally responsible for several deaths. Details are still scarce, but it's believed Joyce's own brother, William Joyce, is among the dead. Little about Joyce is known yet, but given the actions of the activist group he was part of, it is now clear that allowing the anti-corporate protest to continue has backfired at a great human cost. Joyce's current whereabouts are unknown. Fortunately, security personnel from Monarch Solutions were on site and managed to intervene, saving countless lives. We'll keep you updated as this story develops. And now, some music.
A bit of Nissan product placement here. The car is a Nissan Leaf electric car. In fact, if we get close, we should be able to just make out the little zero emission logo there. Starting the car also started the radio, and since we chose to have Paul Serene take the PR path of events, Bobby Radford has been replaced by Teresa Sedmak, who seems to have changed the music lineup to classical music. Do people still tune into the same radio station if the music changed to a different genre? Maybe Riverport residents like listening to a local radio station no matter what music they play.
Paul's men had taken the briefcase from Will's car, dumped the contents on the table. Will had said he needed something from his briefcase to stop the fracture. Wasn't much there but his phone and a key to the Bradbury swimming pool. Not the most obvious clues.
Jack, it's Beth. Monarch just got footage of your lady friend sniffing around some confidential Monarch files. Kind of a big no-no around here.
Amy, I gotta go back for her.
Don't. I'll pick her up. Where are you?
I'm on my way to Paul at the drydocks.
Serene's not the priority. I'm getting you out of there. I'll meet you at the drydocks. Channel 1 is the Monarch frequency. Use it to keep ahead of them. And Jack, don't do anything stupid.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Now, we should probably hurry, but there's a very interesting bit of info on this laptop. A little while ago, Martin Hatch was in this trailer, and he received an email from Commander Clarissa Gawa about how the university operation gathered far more attention than they expected, and she's concerned that Paul Serene will now be paying closer attention to their actions, and perhaps they should delay making their move. Martin Hatch replied and said, "Nothing changes, we move forward." They can use the university complications to their advantage. They will make their move at the gala tonight, and Agawa should make sure Dr. Kim's lab is ready for detonation. We previously read about someone sabotaging the attempts to cure Paul Serene's Chronon syndrome. This email reveals there's a conspiracy that goes right to the top of Monarch. Of course, eventually that will come up later, at which point it might actually have been a minor plot twist. But by reading this email, we found out about it early. The game has spoilt its own plot twist. On the other hand, it is a pleasant surprise to read an email and discover an important part of the story, rather than it just being a bit of fluff about Monarch's technology schedule. Annoyingly, Jack doesn't react to this at all. You'd think that at some point he'd let Beth or Amy know about this conspiracy. I guess that would have meant including conversations that change depending on whether the player reads certain emails. That would have been more work, but it would have been cool and made finding narrative objects more rewarding. Without that, it seems like when the player reads this stuff, Jack doesn't actually pay attention.
Amy, you okay out there? Shit.
Also, it is a bit ridiculous that Hatch and Ogawa are emailing secret plans to each other on Monarch computers, and that Hatch doesn't even bother to lock it or log out. Any random person can read his emails, no password required. If you thought that email was an interesting discovery, it pales in comparison to the next one. On this laptop, there's an email from Bruce Livingston to Dr. Sophia Amaral about his screenplay. Hey, Dr. Amaral. We haven't talked too much, but I'm one of Serene's guys from Reaper Squad. Working around all this time tech stuff, or Chronon tech you call it I guess, got me real inspired, so I started writing a screenplay. There's a lot of science talk in here, so I want a scientist to check it and make sure it kinda makes sense. Would you mind taking a look? Thanks. Here is the first half.
Time Knife, written by Bruce Livingston. Act 1. Interior Office. Night. Bruce Savage stands in his office. He is sexually attractive. Somebody knocks on Bruce's door and he opens it. It's a scientist lady. She looks like a librarian with glasses, but she is actually a scientist. You can tell because she has a lab coat. Help me!
Okay.
Take this knife, because some bad apples are trying to steal it, and it is very important.
Okay.
What is your name, handsome?
I'm Bruce. Let's shake hands.
Bruce and the lady scientist shake hands. Wow! You almost broke my hand with that handshake. You are definitely a tough guy. She is impressed with Bruce's strength. She looks at his large biceps like they are delicious pieces of ham, but she doesn't want to eat them. Here's the knife. The lady scientist hands Bruce the knife. It looks mostly like a knife, but also like a time machine, because it is both a knife and a time machine. But Bruce doesn't know that yet. Goons break through the windows and shoot the scientist lady. She dies. Avenge me!
Okay.
Bruce kills the goons with his legs by doing lots of kicking at them. They are dead real quick.
Looks like I got a leg up on you guys.
The audience probably laughs here, so Bruce waits to deliver his next line for around 5 seconds, so that everybody has calmed down.
What is so special about this knife?
Bruce stabs the knife into his chair. The chair disappears.
The chair disappeared.
He looks at a picture on his wall, which is a big photograph from 1932, with lots of people from 1932 in it. Bruce's chair is in the picture.
Interesting. My chair travelled back in time to 1932 when I stabbed it. When I stab things, they travel through time. That explains why this knife looks like a knife, but also like a time machine. Because it is both.
Bruce's real goofy friend from across the hall runs into the room. He trips on something on the floor. His name is Slobbo. He isn't as fat as his name sounds.
Oh yeah!
That is Slobbo's catchphrase, and he says it in a real funny way. Bruce, you saved my life! The scientist lady was only faking being dead. Are you married?
Only to my job.
I find that attractive, but also respectable. She kisses Bruce's cheek.
What about my cheek? Oh man!
That is Slobbo's other catchphrase, which he says in a different but equally funny way. Bruce waits a few seconds for the audience to stop laughing before speaking.
Wait, those lips were man lips, not woman lips.
Bruce pulls off the scientist lady's wig. She is actually Bruce's boss, Paul Serene. Paul Serene is a douche.
My boss? But why? I wanted you to kill those guys, because they wanted me dead. I knew you were real tough, so you could kill them easy. But I don't respect you as an employee. So I always make you do the shitty jobs, even though you've been working at my company more than most of the other guys and are real smart. Also, I don't like you, because my girlfriend finds you sexually attractive. Now I understand. Give me my time knife back!
Paul Serene snaps his fingers and 73 goons surround Bruce.
You can't kill 73 goons, so just give up! I don't have time for this.
Bruce stabs himself with the time knife and disappears.
He time travelled using the time knife!
Bruce opens the door. Now he's twice as jacked.
You're even more sexually attractive! How is this possible? I stabbed myself and travelled to the past, then trained in all kinds of martial arts to become even stronger. I also strapped explosives into everybody's boots in the past, so that when I press this detonator, you will all explode. Oh yeah! I'm glad I have stocks in this company. Why? Because business is booming.
Bruce presses the detonator. All 73 goons blow up like eggs in a microwave. Paul Serene doesn't explode.
Luckily, I used my metal detector this morning and found the explosives. So I switched boots with somebody else. Say, Slobbo, whose boots are you wearing?
Slobbo explodes.
My best friend, you'll pay for this. You don't want to stab me with that time knife? Why not? Because I am actually you from the future. That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Remember that the time knife is also a time machine. I am you from the future. But I stabbed myself with the time knife in order to come back here and do all of this. But we don't look the same. That is a good point, and I'm glad you brought it up. First, I time traveled 700 years into the future to a time where humans have created advanced technology that allows surgeries that completely change people's faces and bodies. I had this surgery performed so that you wouldn't be able to recognize me, but I am actually you in disguise. I can prove it, because I know many things about you. Like what? You have a birthmark on your left ankle. I do have a birthmark on my left ankle. I am starting to believe you now. You should, because even though I have a new body, I kept that birthmark on my ankle so that when I met you, I could prove that I was actually you from the future. I will show you.
Paul lifts up the leg of his pants, but there is no birthmark. Instead, there is an ankle holster for a gun. Paul pulls out the gun and aims it at Bruce.
I was lying this whole time! I'm not actually you! I was just saying all of that so I could get my gun! Son of a bitch! Also, in the future, I melted the time knife and turned it into bullets! Those bullets are now in this gun, which means that I can shoot you but also send you through time all at once! Finally, you'll be out of my way, so I can marry my girlfriend Sophie later today, before you're able to tell her that I'm a real shitty guy. I didn't know you were getting married today.
I know! My girlfriend Sophine made an invitation for you because she admires you and thinks you're attractive. But I destroyed the invitation and then lied to her and said I gave it to you at work. But now I am here to give you a different invitation. To your funeral!
Paul Serene shoots at Bruce. Slobbo jumps in front of Bruce. Slobbo wasn't actually dead. He jumps in front of the bullets and is shot several times. Now he's actually dying.
Avenge me!
Okay.
Bruce goes to attack Paul Serene, but now Paul Serene has disappeared.
He's gone.
Slobbo is dying on the ground, covered in blood. His body is red like a hot dog covered in lots of ketchup.
You must stop the wedding. You are totally a better guy, and clearly more attractive than Paul. You should be dating his girlfriend, Sophine.
Slobbo dies. Bruce just sits there next to Slobbo for a while because many people will be crying at this point. He eventually gets up.
Looks like I'm going to a wedding. After all,
He holds out the time knife.
somebody's gotta cut the cake.
Cut the cake means he's going to kill Paul. The audience will understand because of the way the actor says it. It's a real intense moment. Bruce puts on his shades. End of Act 1.
Thank you to Angel Zakis, my evil girlfriend, for helping to bring to life that special Evil Twin production of Time Knife. Now, if we head out the far side of the Monarch trailer, you might think that this empty yard out here would hold a Chronon source, but nope, nothing here. However, if you quit the game and then resume playing here, Jack's Time Vision Chronon radar will actually show Chronon sources that you've already collected. It'll detect 2 nearby Chronon sources that aren't there anymore, and you'll end up running around in circles in a wild goose chase. Once we get over here, Jack's time sense starts tingling, and we can detect the next genuine Chronon source, which also happens to be the one that we detected right before we left the factory building. And with that, we've collected 4 Chronon sources. So we now have 4 upgrade points. That's enough for us to improve Jack's time shield with the Slow Time upgrade, which causes time to slow down around Jack while the time shield is active. So as well as protecting Jack, the shield will also slow enemies and make them easier targets for him to shoot at.
It's locked. There's gotta be another way to get through here.
Now, back when Jack rescued Amy, he climbed through an open window, and so surely Jack should be able to just clamber through this gap. It's about the same height and size. But that's not an option. Instead, we have to blow up those barrels.
Jesus! Close one.
HQ, we just heard an explosion near the harvesting perimeter.
Yeah, take a wild guess who that could have been.
Charlie, get off the line. Striker team, take defensive positions around ground zero.
Roger.
Good going, Jack. Now they've heard you coming. And there's a pile of shells in the way. At least Jack's time powers let him solve the latter issue. Surely they could have made the gap you need to shoot through smaller, so that it wouldn't have been feasible for Jack to climb through it. Maybe they originally had it be a smaller gap, and then some playtesters didn't realise they could shoot through it or something. I don't know.
I recognized Will's workshop as soon as I saw the old billboard on top.
The area we refer to as Ground Zero.
It was clear that the workshop was at the center of the Monarch operation. I wanted to see what was in there, and it seemed to be the only way to the drydocks and Serene.
Got the word. Safeguard squad's checking out that explosion. Stryker team is establishing a defensive perimeter around Ground Zero.
An entire Stryker team? For one guy?
University incident got HQ wetting their pants. The kid's gonna get torn apart like a goddamn piñata.
Jack said he recognised the old billboard on top of Will's workshop. He was talking about the advert for the Riverport Rexers, the local football team. You can also see Monarch Tower looming over the skyline. And over there is another Chronon harvester. This one's active, and it has a pulsing distortion effect as it sucks up the excess Chronon particles that saturate the area. Focus time! Let's take cover over here. Ah yes, good plan, SWAT trooper. Take cover behind an explosive barrel. Oh, didn't kill him though. Green zone restricted area. Chronon radiation present in this area. Maximum time to spend in this zone is 8 hours daily. Contact your physician if you experience strong headache, dizziness or nausea, or loss of memory. Make funeral arrangements if you encounter 2 heavy troopers armed with shotguns coming at you at the same time. Now, hopefully we can use the environment to our advantage and lure both these heavy troopers near to this car. Yes! That's one of them at least. When a car explodes, the doors and tyres go flying. If you're lucky, they can actually kill a heavy trooper in one blow. I love how when you shoot a propane tank, jets of flame come out exactly where your bullets hit. Let's just take cover behind this most excellent power generator. Get a nice view of the distortions caused by the Chronon harvesting process. Now if we head over to the far side of this transformer yard, there's a new heavy weapon to replace the shotgun, the carbine rifle. A rather strange name for it, as the word carbine means short rifle, so it's a bit like calling it the short rifle rifle. And carbines are usually compact assault rifles, but this one is actually a sniper rifle.
Striker 1, we're experiencing signs of an incoming.
Safeguard, I've got to contain before that stutter hits.
Changing out! Green zone is compromised! Head is en route with more backup. Hang in there.
It's based on the DSR-1 bolt-action rifle used by police sharpshooters, though they've gotten rid of the sniper scope and changed it to be semi-auto.
Nice driving, guys.
This time stutter starts once you've killed a certain number of enemies. And that doesn't have to include the heavy troopers, it can be any enemies. You know that you're getting close once the mini stutters start. 1.21 gigawatts, or gigawatts as Doc Brown would say. Funnily enough, that was originally the correct pronunciation. It comes from the Greek root gigas. Now, if Jack shoots at an explosive barrel, it will actually explode. But Jack's influence wears off after a couple of seconds, at which point it just reverts to its original state. Also, Jack can create time stop bubbles, even though time is already frozen. A mini stutter within a stutter. This will stop Jack's bullets and allow bullet stacking. Now there have been a number of these high-tech metal spheres in cages scattered about. And here there's one hooked up to the harvester. On this screen it says external device connected, shockproof core shell intact, Chronon valve sealant nanotubes oscillation between 43 Hz and 340 Hz. So I guess these metal spheres are for the safe transportation of vast amounts of Chronon energy. I suppose the blue Chronon containers hold much lower amounts. Maybe they're a more convenient way of topping up the energy of small Chronon devices. Now, let's clamber on top of this Bearcat. I mentioned previously that's the proper name for these armoured personnel carriers, and yeah, we actually heard the troopers call it that on the radio. Yellow Zone. Report immediately if you experience distortions in your visual sensory system, lacunar amnesia, or any short-term memory loss.
For his men to move through stutters. He knew the fracture would occur, prepared for it.
Oh shit.
And yet he never tried to stop it.
That scream was amazing. Yeah, that's what you get for time-punching Jack. He'll blow up your Chronon backpack. Previously, Amy said she saw geared-up soldiers of powers similar to Jack, and here they are. Unfortunately, I'm afraid we're all out of time.
Slobbo explodes.